Central with Burt Barron on the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC, the voice of Central Jersey. From politics to entertainment, from social issues to lifestyles, from newsmakers to pop culture. If it's Jersey, it's on Jersey Central with Burt Barron, 732-545-9282. Or toll free at 888-545-9282.
8:37 back on Jersey Central on the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC, the voice of Central Jersey. I'm Burt Barron. I got a contest to get to. A little bit later on in this 8:30 half hour, family 4-pack of tickets for Discover the Dinosaurs at the Garden State Exhibit Center in Somerset. And our bonus prize, another family 4-pack of tickets, this time to Monster Jam, debuting at the Prudential Center in Newark this weekend. It's 4 tickets for the Saturday night 7:30 performance. And we'll give away both prizes coming up very shortly. Let's get right to the Raritan Bay Medical Center Jersey Newsmaker Hotline. Let's welcome in the senior editor of the World Almanac and the latest pressing of the book, the list of the top 10 big games. And the top 10 big game moments are listed in the book. So let's welcome Sarah to WCTC. Hey, Sarah, it's Burt Barron. How you doing this morning?
Hi there. Thanks for having me, Burt.
Good to talk to you. So part of this is a celebration of, here we are, the Super Bowl is turning 50 this year, and the World Almanac wanted to celebrate that with some of the top games, right?
Absolutely. We wanted to look back at 50 years of the Super Bowl. You know, not all of our staff has been around for all 50 of those years, so we wanted to sort of review the history of the game and look at some of the great moments on the field and see what we could come up with.
Now, for me as a Jets fan, I was only a couple of months old when the Jets won the Super Bowl and literally turned the football world upside down. And it says that was really thought of as a defining moment in pro football when the upstarts, beat the well-established Baltimore Colts back in the day. But talk about what went into this and coming up with what were the best games. Is it the close score? Is it the best finish? Is it a highlight moment or two? How did you come up with the list?
You know what? It was all of those things and then some. And it was kind of a contentious process because, everyone has their own memories. Some memories are longer than others, of course. So there are, games stretching back decades that some of our other editors had not seen before. Of course, Super Bowl III is on that list because, as you said, it was one of the defining moments that actually convinced people that, yes, this could be a real game, a good game every year. And now we've been paying attention to it for 50 years. So it was definitely a long, contentious process, but we were mostly looking at, the great moments, the really memorable games, also looking at, what are the games that sort of keep getting referred to, that keep getting referenced as you're looking at reviews of games in future years, which games are still being, referenced and plays that they're showing highlights of. These are the things that we were looking at when we were putting together the list.
Yeah, well, for any Giants fan, and unfortunately for any Buffalo Bills fan, the phrase wide right will live forever. And when you say that to somebody, they know exactly what you're talking about, right?
They sure do. Of course, that was the first of 4 bad years for Bills fans, but certainly Giants fans like that phrase a little bit more than those Bills fans do. And that game definitely made our list as well.
Yeah. And just so many great teams. You look at the dynasties. I guess the Steelers own the 70s. The 49ers own the 80s. I guess the Packers were the team of the 90s. And the decade gone by, it's hard to say who it was. But these dynasties, and it's about winning the Super Bowl. You could be a great team, but you know what? Without that ring, without that Lombardi trophy, it's like you didn't succeed. The mission wasn't accomplished at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, in 1972, the Dolphins had a fantastic season. They were undefeated.
Yeah.
But if they hadn't also won the Super Bowl, that dynasty, that whole 1970s, order would not have been the stuff of legend that it is now. And, of course, that game is on our list as well.
And that game was, people don't remember, that game was decided by one score. I mean, you would have a country going crazy now if it's the closing minutes of the Super Bowl and the Redskins were only down by one score, right? It would be bedlam.
It's always a lot of fun to see those close games, especially as you're looking at the highlights, as you're looking at, the NFL has this great Super Bowl website, and they'll sort of distill the games down to, 5 or 10 minutes of really great moments. And as you're listening to these contemporary announcers discuss what's going on the field, and you can actually still feel the tension. You can still feel, that it's very close, and it's really fun to sort of feel that energy even 20 and 30 years in the future.
Yeah, and of course, you could take a look at the entire list in the World Almanac and Book of Facts at 2016. You can get it at worldalmanac.com. Wherever books are sold, you can check with your online retailer if you'd like to download an online copy of the book. But I feel so smart after I read your book there, Sarah. I feel like I know everything there is to know when I get a chance to thumb through your book. But if this list of Super Bowls that you've put together is incredible, we mentioned the Dolphins capping off their undefeated season. No one's been able to do that since then. Of course, the Giants and the Scott Norwood wide right that cost the Bills the Super Bowl. Another one, and you know what, as a Jets fan, I know about suffering. I can't imagine what it is like to be a fan of the Arizona Cardinals, who are so desperate that maybe this is the year they finally get it done. But 2009 Super Bowl where they played the Pittsburgh Steelers, a heartbreaking play right before the end of the first half that everybody remembers.
Absolutely. That's one of those moments where you just sort of, you watched it happen live and you could feel the collective hearts of millions of Cardinals fans just sort of sink. It was just, one of those moments that I think a lot of people are going to be remembering and discussing probably as those final games are taking place in the playoffs this weekend.
Watching James Harrison run out of gas as he was running down that sideline, I'm like, come on, Kurt Warner, you can catch him. Keep running. You can get there. He's almost stopped. You got to be able to get there to him. But that changed that entire game, that one play.
A crazy moment. And, of course, but Steelers fans are remembering that that's their 6th Super Bowl win. So they established, their own victorious moment that day. So it's sort of a two-headed coin.
2 hands worth of rings for the Steelers when they got that 6th one, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
first team ever to do it.
Forget about one for the thumb. They've been there, done that. They've got 6 rings there. But just great moments. So you look at the Super Bowls, and you know what? And it's true. People that look at football now as this juggernaut sport that really owns the sports landscape for all the months that the season is going on, and the Super Bowl has transcended everything. It's really become one of the biggest events of the entire calendar year. When you look at the really humble beginnings of the Super Bowl, Sarah, you go back to the first one, it was like, okay, well, let's see how it goes. We'll get the Chiefs, we'll get the Packers, we'll play a game in Los Angeles, and if anybody comes, that'll be good, right?
Yeah, they didn't even call it the Super Bowl. They didn't even make a big deal about it
right.
the first year because no one thought that it was going to be a good game. And, it really wasn't a good game. But as the years went on and as the leagues became more competitive, it really has turned into not just a sports milestone, but, a vast cultural milestone in every single year. It's not for nothing that it is always the highest rated program on television in whatever year it happens to take place.
Yeah.
Everyone uses the Super Bowl as sort of a midwinter marker. We're all paying attention on that one Sunday in February.
Yeah, of course. And for the teams that still kind of have a horse in the race, if you're a Broncos fan, a Cardinals fan, a Panthers fan, like my wife is, she loves the mascot. She's pulling for the Panthers to make it this year. The heck with the Patriots there. I'm not going to wish them well, of course, as a Jets fan. They've made my life miserable for the last 15 seasons. But check out the book again, the World Almanac and Book of Facts 2016. Get it wherever books are sold or visit worldalmanac.com. Are you a fan, Sarah? And what do you think about the games coming up this weekend?
Oh gosh, I have to plead the fifth on this one.
Oh, okay.
I was not paying attention for most of the fall, so I'm just sort of getting into the playoffs this last week. So I definitely cannot plead expert status in this case.
That's all right.
But I'm looking forward to these upcoming games. I think they're going to be good.
I think 90% of America wants the Patriots to lose. So if you're part of that crowd, you can't go wrong, I guess, right?
Well, I was raised a Bears fan, so
okay.
It's not exactly something that I have a rivalry established with, but I think a lot of people like to see the dominant team sort of taken down a peg for sure.
This is true. And with the Bears, I mean, you've always got that year with Jim McMahon and Mike Ditka, and the year they just lost one game and they obliterated the Patriots in the Super Bowl that one year. So that was wonderful for a Bears fan.
Not to mention the infamous Super Bowl shuffle. You can't
That's
forget
right.
about
the fridge and the Super Bowl shuffle. What a fun year that was, right?
It was a really memorable one for us.
All right.
The game didn't make the list, but it was a fun one.
Okay. Well, awesome stuff. Sarah Janssen, senior editor, the World Almanac. Thanks for a couple minutes this morning, and I got to get back to my book. Required reading, obviously, for what I do. I mean, information is everything in my business, so you're a great reference for me and for so many people. So thank you for the time today, and you're on the East Coast, so we're getting ready for some bad weather this weekend. You be safe.
You too. Take care. Thank you so much for having me.
All my pleasure. Thank you so much. All right, Sarah Janssen, the senior editor of the World Almanac.